Hey guys, just want to do a little intro on how to use our leverage squat machine. Now, some people say this machine looks a little bit scary, so I'm now about to prove to you it really isn't. This machine is a piece of plate loaded equipment, which basically means you'll take a plate and load it there. Now, benefits of plate loaded machinery are that one, if you're a really strong guy, you can kind of really load extra weight up, you're not limited by a weight stack. And if you're a girly, or lady, then you can kind of make small incremental weights without having to kind of go up with larger weights. So if you're doing single leg variations, or if you're just trying to make small improvements consistently over a long period of time, then plate loaded equipment can be really good for that. Another benefit of these machines, it is so smooth, it feels just feels like a pleasure to use, whereas kind of machines can sometimes feel a little bit more clunky. So with the leverage squat, this helps train your quad muscles and the glutes. I'm going to show you 3 different exercises. The first exercise I'm going to show you is the squat. Now, with a traditional squat, you're either loaded here or in front, and you'll kind of go straight down and straight up. Now, if you've got tight ankles, tight hips, muscular imbalances, kind of weak back muscles, then kind of loading yourself in a straight plane like that with gravity going straight down can sometimes bring out those limitations. So what the leverage squat does is it kind of changes the angle of your body, so it kind of gets rid of those limitations. Now what that means is, that means you can squat really deep. That means you can really kind of load the muscles without it kind of putting pressure or tension through certain areas like your hips, groin, or lower back, or kind of ankles. So this is what it looks like. Step into the machine. Put your shoulders against the pads. I've got one foot in the middle of the foot plate. Second one on. We've got the handles at the front here. So people kind of look around and say, where do I hold? So handles there. Now, we've got the safety bar just in front of us. That means that it's now unwrapped and I'm now taking the weight. So what I'm going to do is, I've got my feet central. If you go feet lower, it kind of tends to kind of hit your quads a little more, front to the thighs. If you go feet higher, it kind of tends to put a little bit more kind of hip extension through the movement, which means it'll kind of maybe train your hamstrings and your glutes a little bit more. So generally, if it's your first time using it and you're not trying to target anything specifically, then just kind of go feet kind of midway, hold on to the grips. You can see the shoulders are nicely on the pads. You're going to soften your knees, take a deep breath in, kind of if you know how to brace your core, that's handy. If not, then you don't typically need it, but just take a nice deep breath in, kind of hold that breath if you can, kind of push your tummy out. That will kind of keep a nice stable core for you. We're going to slowly come down. Yeah, as you can see, I can go super deep at the bottom end on this machine and drive up. Again, a lot of clients who can't squat very deep, this basically kind of gets rid of all that. So it allows you to come down, arse the grass, otherwise known as, and drive up. It can also help to kind of squeeze your glutes as well. If you find when you kind of squat, you kind of back rounds off, just kind of squeezing your glutes, going for that posterior tilt, getting your lower abs kind of filled up with that breath, and squeezing your butt can really kind of go, really far. So again, deep breath in, slowly come down. You can go super deep. You can always go deeper than you think you can on this machine, and drive up. You can keep your knees soft at the top to keep permanent tension as well. If you're a bit of a sadist or you kind of really want to get some good results, slowly down and up. Once you're finished, you can kind of re-rack it, take it down and stop. I'm also going to show you a single leg version, so you can kind of do a split squat or a split lunge position, which is going to be training that kind of glute a little bit harder. So I'm just going to bring this leg back, kind of almost as far as I can really. I'm just going to take the weight by pushing up on the tiptoe on the back leg. You can play around with the foot position with your front leg. Some people might prefer it a little bit further up, a little bit further down. Again, I kind of go for sort of fairly neutral in the middle. And I'm just going to squat down. I'm aiming to get that back knee close to the floor. You can see I'm really loading this front leg. I'm really feeling that in the butt. And again, I'm going to drive up at the movement. I always kind of like to kind of push off on that leg as well. So kind of let your back foot raise a little bit. Again, that's just going to give you that little bit more kind of contraction of the muscle and the glute at the top end. Slowly control down. 2-3 second count, it's quite nice. Again, don't rest at the bottom. You don't want to crash your knee into the floor either. If you want to put a mat there, you can. Drive up at the movement. And that is a serious burn through the butt. Feels really good. Third exercise, you'll see a nice round foot plate down here. Now this is for your calves, so we've got a nice little calf raise on. Now the benefit of having the circular pad basically kind of forces your feet and your arch muscles to kind of work a little bit harder. So rather than just kind of pushing up with your calves, it kind of forces you to push off with your toes, which gives you like an extra kind of 20% in the movement, which feels quite nice, or not very nice as this kind of may come across with. So we're going to come down, keeping the legs straight, locked out, so we're working the calves. We're going to push up, kind of push off the toes as well if you can. I'm going to bring my feet back just slightly so I'm more on the toes at the top end. I can get a real good stretch now, really push up, and you can see that's going to hit the gastrocnemius, your kind of outer superficial calf muscle, quite nicely. A lot of people kind of tend to neglect calves. I wouldn't do that if I was you, I'd just add some in if I was you. Once you're finished, bring back, feet forward, make sure this is down first before you step off. And that's 3 exercises to use on our leverage squat.